Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question. Do you believe it's possible to make $100,000, 0 cents per month in your business? Because if your belief is limited, your bank account will follow. Now listen, I'm not here to tickle your ears. I'm here to tell you the truth that will set your business free. Making 6 figures a month isn't just a strategy, it's a spiritual and practical alignment. Let's break it down. If you want to make $100, 0 cents per month in your business, you have to first understand this truth. Your income will never exceed your identity. Your business is a reflection of your beliefs, not just your behaviors. See, a lot of people are chasing strategies and tools, but they're missing the foundation, mindset. And I don't mean mindset like positive vibes only or just think good thoughts. I'm talking about the mindset of millions, a mindset that governs how you see money, how you see problems, how you see opportunities, and most importantly, how you see yourself. Now, here's the problem. Most people are trying to build $1 million business while thinking like a $1,000 employee. They're making decisions based on their current circumstances instead of their future potential. They're letting what they see stop them from moving toward what they say they want. And you can't build a 6-figure a month business with 5-figure a year thinking. The moment you try to leap to a new level, your old identity is going to scream, who do you think you are? That's the moment you either shrink back into comfort or you lean forward into courage. You have to upgrade your belief system because belief is the blueprint that behavior follows. If you believe that money is hard to make, then your actions will reflect that. You'll undercharge, you'll hesitate to sell, you'll avoid investing, you'll look at every opportunity through the lens of fear instead of faith. But when you believe that wealth is abundant, that your value is real, and that success is your responsibility, not your luck, then everything changes. You start acting like a person who expects $100, 0 cents K/month, not one who's surprised by it. Let's get practical. Someone making $5,000, 0 cents a month looks at a $10, 0 cents coaching program and says, I can't afford that. Someone making $100, 0 cents K/month says, how fast can this get me results? What's the ROI if I go all in? The person making $5, 0 cents K is asking if they can survive the cost. The person making $100, 0 cents K is asking how they can multiply the investment. Same offer, different mindset. That's the mindset of millions. It doesn't make decisions based on fear of loss. It makes decisions based on alignment with vision. Now, your subconscious doesn't care what you want. It only responds to what you accept as true. If you've accepted that $10, 0 cents K/month is a good month, guess what? That's your ceiling. It'll feel like a wind and you'll stop pushing. You won't stretch, you'll plateau. But if you raise your standards, raise your expectations, and reprogram your mind to believe that $100, 0 cents K/month is normal, then your actions will start aligning with that new truth. It's not magic, it's mathematics combined with mindset. Some of you are struggling in your business not because you lack skill, but because you're operating under a money trauma that says too much is bad, or if I win, someone else has to lose. That's broken thinking. Money isn't evil. Money is a tool. Money in the hands of good people does good things. The more you have, the more you can give, the more you can grow, the more impact you can create. But if you keep holding on to guilt about earning, you'll always find a way to sabotage your income because you'll feel like you don't deserve it. And listen, there's a big difference between hustling and building. Hustling is when you grind for every dollar because you believe that money only comes through struggle. Building is when you create systems and strategies that produce wealth even when you're not grinding 24/7. People with a broke mindset worship effort. People with a wealthy mindset worship effectiveness. They ask, what's the result this activity produces? They're not addicted to looking busy. They're committed to being productive. And they understand that time is not money. Time is life. And life is the most valuable asset you have. Let me tell you something else. Fear is a liar. And fear often wears the disguise of logic. It sounds like, be realistic. Take it slow. Don't risk too much. But faith says stretch, trust, move before you see. The mindset of millions doesn't need to have all the answers before it takes the first step. It moves with clarity of purpose and confidence in outcome. If you're waiting for the perfect moment, you'll wait your whole life. The right time is when you're ready to think like the person you're becoming, not the person you've been. And here's the part most people miss. Wealth is not something you chase. Wealth is something you attract by the person you become. If you want to make more, you've got to become more. Not more busy, not more stressed, not more frantic, more valuable, more intentional, more aligned, more committed. That means eliminating distractions. That means saying no to things that don't match your mission. That means surrounding yourself with people who normalize wealth, who challenge your excuses, who don't let you play small. Because you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your standards. This mindset shift isn't optional. It's the foundation. Before you build the offer, before you run the ad, before you create the funnel, before you hire the team, you have to build the inner infrastructure that can sustain six-figure months. Because if your outer world grows faster than your inner world, the business will break you. But if your mindset is strong, your identity is aligned, and your beliefs are bulletproof, then $100,000, 0 cents per month won't just be possible, it will be predictable. If you want to make $100, 0 cents per month in your business, you need to stop selling like an amateur and start creating offers that actually carry the weight of that kind of income. You don't make $100, 0 cents K per month selling $20 trinkets to people who barely know what they want. You do it by solving real problems for real people who are ready to pay real money for real transformation. That means your offer has to be high ticket, high impact, and high conviction. The size of your income will always be directly connected to the size of the problem you solve. And let me tell you something, people pay more to fix big problems than they do to avoid small ones. Most business owners are out here offering generic services or shallow solutions, and they wonder why people ghost them, price shop, or disappear after a discovery call. It's not because people don't have money. It's because your offer doesn't look like it's worth it. You want to start making six figures a month? Then stop trying to sell like everyone else. The world doesn't need another business coach, another graphic designer, another copywriter, another consultant. What the world needs is a category of one. Your offer has to be so specific, so unique, and so powerful that it becomes the only logical choice for your ideal client. A high-ticket offer is not just about slapping a high price tag on what you already do. It's about creating something that delivers a deep and desirable result. You have to understand your client's pain so well that they feel like you've been reading their diary. And then you have to offer them a future that looks radically different from their present, and show them that you have the roadmap to get them there. That's what people pay for. They don't pay for coaching sessions, modules, PDFs, or calls. They pay for outcomes. They pay to escape something painful or experience something powerful. If you can articulate the gap between where they are and where they want to be and position your offer as the bridge, they will pay. Now let's talk about the fear people have around charging premium prices. The number one reason most entrepreneurs don't have high-ticket offers is not because they can't create them. It's because they don't feel worthy of charging what they know they should. They've got imposter syndrome, money guilt, and emotional pricing syndrome. They think, well, I wouldn't pay that much, so why would anyone else? But you're not your customer. You don't price your offer based on your current bank account. You price it based on the transformation it delivers and the client it's designed for. Wealthy people think in terms of value and results. Broke people think in terms of time and effort. And if you want to attract premium clients, you have to get comfortable being the premium solution. You can't sell high ticket with low ticket energy. You can't show up halfway, kind of confident, sort of sure, and expect someone to drop $10, 0 cents K, $20, 0 cents K, or $50, 0 cents K on your offer. People don't just buy the product. They buy your certainty. They buy your confidence. They buy your belief that what you're offering will absolutely change their life. And if you're not convinced, they won't be either. So stop playing small. Stop downplaying your brilliance. Stop hiding behind discounts and hoping someone buys. Own your expertise. Own your authority. Own the fact that you're called to help people at a high level. And let's be clear, just because your offer is high ticket doesn't mean it has to be complicated. Simplicity scales. Complication confuses. A high-ticket offer should be clear, streamlined, and effective. It should walk your client through a process that gets them from point A to point B with maximum clarity and minimal friction. And you should design it in a way that allows you to deliver big results without burning yourself out, because if you're charging a premium, your delivery has to match. Not with more hours, but with better systems, tighter frameworks, and smarter support. Your job is not to convince someone to buy. Your job is to present such a powerful and precise offer that the right person knows it's exactly what they've been looking for. That starts with understanding your ideal client better than they understand themselves. What do they want more than anything? What's stopping them from getting it? What have they tried that hasn't worked? What are they afraid will happen if they stay stuck? And how does your offer become the turning point in their story? When you answer those questions, you're not just selling a service. You're offering a solution that speaks directly to the soul. If you're serious about hitting $100 0 cents K months, then you need to stop chasing volume and start commanding value. You don't need 100 clients buying cheap offers. You need a few aligned clients investing in a solution that actually works. And the best part, high-ticket clients are often easier to work with. They're more committed, more decisive, and more ready to do the work. They don't nickel and dime you because they respect your time. They show up because they've got skin in the game. And that's who you want to build your business around. You create high-ticket offers by stepping into your full authority, identifying your most valuable solution, packaging it with excellence, and pricing it with unapologetic clarity. You don't water it down. You don't overstuff it. You don't undercharge it. You offer the best of what you do to the people who are most ready to receive it, and you do it from a place of certainty, clarity, and conviction. That's how you shift from hustling for cash to building a business that generates consistent, scalable, and sustainable revenue at the 6-figure per month level. If you want to make $100,000, 0 cents per month in your business, you have to stop being a secret and start becoming a signal. Because here's the truth. If your message isn't magnetic, your money will stay minimal. People don't buy the best products. They buy the products that are best communicated. And too many entrepreneurs are buried under the noise trying to sound smart when they should be focused on being clear. Confused people don't buy. Bored people don't buy. Distracted people definitely don't buy. Your message must interrupt the scroll, penetrate the heart, and create a moment of emotional and intellectual alignment that makes people say, that's for me. The marketplace doesn't reward effort. It rewards clarity. And clarity in your message is the secret weapon that separates broke businesses from booming businesses. You have to be able to articulate the pain, the promise, and the path in a way that your ideal client feels seen, heard, and understood before they ever open their wallet. Most business owners are out here yelling into the void, throwing generic slogans into the wind, and wondering why nothing is landing. But people aren't looking for noise. They're looking for a voice. Your message has to be that voice. It has to be that beacon in the fog, that signal in the static, that clear call to action that cuts through everything else and reaches the heart of your audience. And here's what's important to understand. Powerful messaging isn't just about being clever. It's about being connected. When you understand the psychology of your buyer, you no longer guess what to say. You say what they're already thinking. You describe the conversation that's already going on in their mind. You give language to the struggle they've never been able to describe. That's when trust is built. That's when buying becomes the next logical step. That's when you stop chasing leads and start attracting clients. Because when your message resonates, people come to you pre-sold and ready to move. You have to stop trying to impress and start aiming to impact. Fancy words don't sell, clear words do. When you describe the pain in high definition, you position yourself as the only one who understands it. When you paint the dream with specific, tangible details, you give your audience permission to believe in it again. When you explain the journey in simple steps that feel achievable, you remove the fear of the unknown. Great messaging isn't about talking more, it's about saying the right thing in the right way to the right person. First-time messaging isn't just about what you say, it's about what people feel when they hear you say it. If your content feels flat, if your offers fall on deaf ears, if your audience isn't responding, it's not a traffic problem, it's a transformation problem. You're not triggering enough internal resonance to shift belief. And sales don't happen because someone understands your product. Sales happen because someone sees themselves inside your story. That's why you must speak to identity, not just intellect. You must speak to desire, not just features. You must speak to legacy, not just logistics. Your audience doesn't want to be educated. They want to be elevated. They don't want to be informed. They want to be inspired. So if all you do is post information, you're going to blend in. But if you post revelation, if you speak from a place of insight and empathy and vision, you will stand out. And when you stand out, you get paid. Visibility alone is not enough. It's authority that creates conversion. And authority is built through consistent, congruent, and compelling communication that proves you understand your people better than anyone else. One of the biggest shifts you have to make in your business is going from content creator to message carrier. Content is what most people do. They post just to stay relevant. But a message carrier is someone who carries a divine assignment, someone who has something inside of them that the marketplace needs to hear. When you carry a message, you don't just post to post. You post to provoke. You post to shift. You post to lead. Your words are not just captions. They are commissions. They are invitations into a higher level of identity and action. And this doesn't mean you have to be loud. You just have to be precise. Precision is what makes your message powerful. Don't try to talk to everyone. Talk to the one person who is ready. The mother who's tired of juggling everything and getting nowhere. The coach who's making sales but burning out. The entrepreneur who's succeeding on paper but starving for purpose. When you speak to the specific struggle, your message becomes impossible to ignore. You don't need to go viral. You just need to go vertical, deep into the heart of your dream client's problem with a solution that actually works. Your messaging needs to align with your pricing, your positioning, and your product. If your words sound basic, your offer will look cheap, even if it isn't. But when your words carry weight, your offer automatically rises in perceived value. You have to learn how to use language like a scalpel, not a sledgehammer. Cut through the noise with specificity, with certainty, with conviction. Make people stop, feel, think, and act. That's how you move people, and moving people is what moves money. Most importantly, your message must come from within. Don't copy what's trending. Don't mimic what's working for someone else. Dig into your own experiences, your own revelations, your own calling. That's where your real voice lives. And that voice is the most valuable asset you have in this noisy, overcrowded market. Because your voice is what builds your brand. Your voice is what builds trust. Your voice is what builds demand. And when your voice is clear, consistent, and confident, your business becomes unforgettable, undeniable, and unstoppable. If you want to make $100,000, 0 cents per month in your business, you have to stop doing everything yourself and start building systems that work whether you're awake or asleep. Hustle might get you your first breakthrough, but it won't sustain your next level. Hustling for every client, every dollar, every result is not a scalable strategy. It's a survival strategy. And survival mode will keep you stuck in the cycle of earning just enough to stay busy, but never enough to buy back your time. You can't scale chaos. You can't scale disorganization. And you definitely can't scale dependency on your own energy. Systems are how you scale without burnout. Systems are how you create predictable profit instead of accidental income. Systems are how you step out of the weeds and into the role of visionary leader in your business. Now, when I say systems, I'm not just talking about software and automation tools. I'm talking about repeatable processes that consistently produce results. Systems are structures that work without requiring your constant supervision. A system could be how you attract leads, how you nurture them, how you close sales, how you deliver results, how you collect payments, how you onboard clients, how you renew them, how you upsell them. If you do something more than once in your business and it brings in revenue, it should have a system. Then it's stealing time and leaving money on the table. Most entrepreneurs are stuck because they're the system. They think they have a business, but what they really have is a job they created for themselves, and they're the worst boss they've ever had. They're overworked, underpaid, and can't take a real vacation without everything falling apart. That's not freedom. That's a prison dressed up like purpose. The goal is to remove yourself from being the bottleneck. You want to build a business that works for you, not a business that only works when you do. You want to be able to step back and know that leads are still coming in, offers are still being made, clients are still being served, and money is still being collected. If you're still stuck in every task, every meeting, every decision, then you're not building a business. You're babysitting one. And babysitting doesn't pay 6 figures a month. CEOs don't babysit. CEOs delegate. CEOs document. CEOs design. You have to build with the intention of replacing yourself from the processes that don't require your genius. Because your time should be spent in the highest leverage areas of your business. Strategy, vision, leadership, relationships, and innovation. Everything else should be either automated, outsourced, or systemized. And if it can't be, ask yourself if it really needs to be done at all. Let's talk about automation for a minute. Automation is not about replacing the human connection. It's about removing human friction. If someone joins your email list, they should get a sequence that educates them, builds trust, and moves them closer to a buying decision without you lifting a finger. If someone buys your offer, they should be immediately onboarded through an experience that makes them feel supported and confident. If a lead isn't ready to buy, they should be followed up with consistently and intelligently until the timing is right. These are systems that don't sleep. These are systems that sell while you're living your life, but even more important than automations are documented processes. If someone joined your team tomorrow, could they take over a part of your business without asking you 100 questions? If not, you've built a dependency, not a system. Your processes should live somewhere that's accessible, clear, and repeatable. That means checklists, SOPs, playbooks, whatever you need to make sure that if someone else runs it, the results stay consistent. Consistency creates confidence. Confidence is what makes you show up with power and peace every single day. You also need to build a team that understands and executes these systems, not just people who work in the business, but people who can own pieces of the business. That means hiring not just for help, but for results. You don't hire just to get stuff off your plate. You hire to increase the capacity of your company to deliver excellence at scale. And that requires clear expectations, measurable outcomes, and systems that support success. Don't just throw tasks at people and hope it works. Build a structure where everyone knows what winning looks like and give them the tools to win consistently. Most importantly, systems protect your energy. When you have strong systems in place, you don't wake up wondering what to do. You wake up with a clear agenda and a business that moves forward, even if you're not firing on all cylinders. That's when you go from reactive to proactive. If you want to make $100,000, 0 cents per month in your business, you have to understand that money flows at the speed of decision. Indecision is the enemy of acceleration. Every time you delay a move, hesitate on an idea, or second guess your instinct, you are slowing down the money that's already looking for you. Wealth doesn't wait for the perfect moment. It responds to clarity, confidence, and conviction. The entrepreneurs who win are not the ones who know the most. They're the ones who move the fastest on what they know. You don't need more time. You need to make sharper decisions with the time you've got. Every next level of your business is locked behind a decision you're avoiding, a risk you're postponing, or fear you're letting speak louder than your faith. A 6-figure per month mindset doesn't wait for circumstances to be ideal. It creates ideal outcomes by committing fully, showing up boldly, and refusing to waver when the pressure rises. Too many people want $100, 0 cents K month, but still make decisions like they're running a side hustle. They overthink, overanalyze, and underact. They talk themselves out of bold moves with small thinking. They ask for signs when they should be taking steps. You don't scale by staying safe. You scale by moving forward before you feel ready, and trusting that momentum will bring the clarity you think you're missing. The truth is, clarity doesn't come before movement. It comes because of movement. Decision is the catalyst of transformation. Until you decide, nothing happens. No growth, no clients, no revenue, no impact. Decision creates direction, and direction creates momentum. When you're stuck, it's not because you don't have options. It's because you haven't chosen one. Make the call, launch the offer, hire the coach, build the team, raise the price. Say no to what's draining you. Say yes to what stretches you. The faster you decide, the faster you align, the faster you align, the faster you accelerate. You're not waiting on the right opportunity. The opportunity is waiting on the right version of you to show up and take ownership. Every major shift in your business will require a moment of courage, not comfort, not convenience, courage. Courage to choose even when you're uncertain. Courage to invest even when it feels risky. Courage to pivot when the old way isn't working. Courage to release what no longer fits where you're going. The currency of growth is courage. The faster you move in courage, the more the marketplace responds with increase. But if you hesitate every time pressure shows up, you'll forfeit progress over and over again. 6-figure months are not for the hesitant. They're for the decisive. You can't keep saying you want big results while entertaining small commitments. If your decisions are based on your past, your patterns, or your present limitations, you're going to keep producing the same level of outcomes. You have to start making decisions based on where you're going, not where you've been. Your future doesn't need permission from your past, and your next level doesn't need validation from your comfort zone. If the decision stretches you, if it scares you a little, if it challenges your current belief system, it's probably the right one. The goal isn't to play it safe. The goal is to play it forward. To think, act, and choose from the place you want to be, not just the place you are. Speed matters in business. Not sloppy speed, but strategic speed. The kind of speed that comes from knowing your vision, trusting your gift, and refusing to entertain distractions. While other people are still planning, you're producing. While they're still brainstorming, you're building. While they're still doubting, you're delivering. That's how you get ahead, not by being the smartest, the most talented, or the most resourced, but by being the most decisive. Decision is the great equalizer. It's the shortcut to momentum. It's the access point to increase. Every powerful entrepreneur you admire has one thing in common. They made a decision and they didn't turn back. The reason many business owners stay stuck in plateaued income is because they're making decisions based on what they feel, not what they've decided. You will never feel your way into the next level. You have to decide your way into it. Emotions are temporary, but decisions shape destiny. When your feelings waver, your decision must stand. When the fear rises, your decision must speak louder. When the temptation to quit shows up, your decision must hold the line. Decision creates stability in seasons of pressure. And the stability is what allows you to keep building while others break down. You can decide your way out of lack. You can decide your way into overflow. You can decide your way into visibility, influence, and authority. You can decide your way into the room you feel unqualified to enter. You don't need a cosign. You don't need more confirmation. You need to trust the fire in your belly and the call on your life. That's the kind of decision that makes the impossible bend to your favor. That's the kind of decision that makes $100,000, 0 cents months a normal part of your business model, not a fantasy you keep postponing. Every breakthrough begins with a bold decision. The moment you decide that you're not going to keep living at half capacity, the moment you decide that your business is going to reflect your calling, not just your convenience, the moment you decide that average is no longer acceptable, that moment changes everything. Because decision activates resources. It attracts alignment. It opens doors you didn't even know existed. It releases provision that's been waiting on your participation. You have no idea what's on the other side of the decision you've been avoiding. But one thing is certain, it's costing you more to delay than it ever will to decide. If you want to make $100,000, 0 cents per month in your business, you have to master the art of high-ticket selling. Not selling based on time, effort, or features, but selling based on transformation, identity, and value. People don't pay high prices because something takes a long time to do. They pay high prices because of what that thing does for them. They pay to solve a painful problem, to collapse time, to elevate their status, to reclaim their freedom, to feel a new level of certainty. And until you understand that pricing is not about what something costs, but about what something is worth to the right person, you'll keep undercharging and overworking. The biggest myth in entrepreneurship is that lower prices equal more clients. That's a lie. Low prices attract high resistance. Low prices attract low commitment. Low prices attract clients who second guess every move, delay every decision, and question your value before you've even delivered. High ticket isn't about greed, it's about stewardship. It's about creating enough margin so you can serve with excellence. It's about building a business model that allows you to scale without sacrificing your health, your time, or your integrity. It's about pricing from a place of purpose, not desperation. You don't raise your price when you feel ready. You raise it when you recognize that the transformation you offer is already worth far more than you're charging. Selling at a high level requires you to think at a high level. That means shifting your belief system around money, value, and worth. You can't sell what you don't believe in. You can't communicate conviction when you're silently negotiating with your own doubt. High-ticket clients are looking for certainty. They're looking for a guide who believes more in the result than they do. They're looking for leadership, not just information. And that leadership begins with how you position yourself, how you package your offer, and how you articulate the value you bring. You have to stop selling the what and start selling the why. Don't talk about how many modules are in your program or how many calls come with your package. Talk about the shift, the breakthrough, the new identity they'll walk into after working with you. Talk about the weight they'll finally be able to drop, the revenue they'll unlock, the time they'll reclaim, the relationship they'll restore, the dream they'll stop postponing. People buy with emotion and justify with logic. If you're only speaking to logic, you're leaving money on the table. Connect to the desire. Speak to the consequence of delay. Show them what it costs to stay where they are. Because transformation begins with awareness, and your sales process should be a mirror that reveals what's possible and what's currently in the way. High ticket selling is not about pressure. It's about perspective. When someone says that's too expensive, they're not saying it isn't worth it. They're saying they don't see how it's worth it to them. Your job is to build the bridge. Your job is to walk them through the gap between their current frustration and their future reality. Your job is to expand their vision until the investment makes sense, because when someone is connected to the outcome, the price becomes a detail. This is where you go from being a salesperson to a leader, from being a closer to being a catalyst. And that shift changes everything about how you show up in sales conversations. You don't need to manipulate. You need to magnify. Magnify the dream. Magnify the urgency. Magnify the value. Show them what they've been tolerating and how much it's really costing them. Show them how small tweaks can create massive shifts. Show them that what they thought would take years can happen in months when they have the right support. People are tired of being sold to, but they are hungry to be led. They are looking for someone to call them up, not just cash them out. That's the power of high ticket sales done right. It's transformational, not transactional. And you have to carry the energy of someone who's already convinced. When you speak about your offer, there should be zero doubt in your voice. You should sound like someone who knows the value, knows the result, and knows that saying yes to this is the smartest move they could make. Your energy is part of the offer. Your belief is part of the pitch. People don't just buy the program, they buy the confidence you carry when you talk about it. If you don't believe your offer changes lives, why should they? High ticket sales also demand high ticket boundaries. Now, that means you don't discount your offer to make someone feel better. You don't justify your price. You don't chase people who ghost you. You don't carry people who aren't ready. Your offer is not for everyone. And it's not supposed to be. It's for the ones who are ready to shift, ready to invest, and ready to commit. You don't make your offer more accessible by lowering your price. You make it more accessible by raising your standard and clearly showing the value inside. Your job isn't to beg people to see it. Your job is to communicate it so clearly that the right people recognize themselves in your words and lean in without resistance. You must remember that money is simply a mirror. It reflects the level of belief, urgency, and ownership someone has about solving their problem. When someone pays high ticket, they're not just buying your program, they're buying a new identity. They're choosing to see themselves differently. They are choosing to no longer tolerate mediocrity. They're choosing to take responsibility at a deeper level, and that decision alone can create massive momentum before they ever log into a single training or attend a single call. When you understand this, selling becomes sacred. It becomes an invitation into a new future. It becomes the moment that someone draws a line in the sand and says, I'm done playing small. That's why you must sell boldly. Sell like someone's breakthrough depends on it, because it does. Sell like the person on the other end is one decision away from an entirely different life, and sell like you are the bridge between where they are and where they know they're meant to be. That's when you stop working in the moment and start building momentum. That's when you stop chasing your to-do list and start designing your future. Your system should reflect the business you're building, not just the business you're surviving. If you want to operate at $100 0 cents K/month level, your back end has to function like a six-figure engine. Think about your onboarding. Is it manual or is it seamless? Think about your lead generation. Is it accidental or is it intentional? Think about your sales. Are they sporadic or are they strategic? Think about your delivery. Is it draining or is it dialed in? These are the questions that show you where your systems are leaking and where your scale is hiding. You can't scale what you don't measure. You can't improve what you don't track. And you definitely can't grow what you don't systemize. The goal is not just to make more money. It's to make money in a way that's sustainable, consistent, and life-giving. Systems give you back your time, your energy, and your focus. They free you to lead instead of just labor. They let your business become a vehicle for your vision, not a vortex that drains your soul. And once your systems are strong, your income becomes a matter of design, not chance.